And all these points that I'm going to share can be followed by anyone, irrespective of even if you have a college or even if you don't have a degree. So no degree or a good college makes you an engineer. You become one when you build things. So if you have ever applied to a full-time or even an intern position in tech as a student, you must have seen these crazy requirements, like you need to have 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of experience. You need to have working experience in 10-20 different things, from which you just Google half of those. I mean, it can be really overwhelming for beginners out there who just want to work, learn and get that first experience. For example, this has happened to me a lot of times, that I have just applied somewhere, the recruiter has reached out based on my resume and stuff, and then when I say that okay, I'm an undergrad, I'm studying currently, they either ghost me or they just say that they just want graduates. I mean, if someone reaches out on the basis of something you have done or your resume and your work, at least I should be rejected based on my skills and not so-called experience, right? But this happens, and in hindsight it is also pretty understandable, because these companies were like medium level and also kind of big companies, so they must be getting a lot of requests and they can't just interview everyone, which is a lot of work. But these things are changing with the startup scenario in India. It is like the Silicon Valley in 2000s. People now desperately want great hires because they want to build something and they don't care about your experience. They just want to know that, hey, you can build this or not, which is how it should be. If you can build this, you should be hired. So the mindsets are changing. The skills are valued way more than just so-called experience, because that's how it should be. So from my small experience as a student working at startups and learning from various people, I will be sharing some tips or some things that you can do to get these work experience as a student. First of all, I would just like to remind you that you don't need any conventional path to become an engineer, and especially a software engineer, because they say the best things in world are free and code is free. It is permissionless. If you want to learn it, you can learn it for free from the internet. You can make anything you want with it, and unless obviously it is positive thing, and you just can publish it to the world. So no degree or a good college makes you an engineer. You become one when you build things. So you just have to remove this mindset that, oh, I need to study this, what college is teaching me, and then after 4 years I will be one engineer and it works somewhere. No, if you just build things now, you can do anything you want. So being a student, this mindset really helps, because you just get out of the system now, right? You can do things on your own. And all these points that I'm going to share can be followed by anyone, irrespective of even if you have a college or even if you don't have a degree, because all these things don't matter if you have skills, right? So with that said, let's just get started with the first one, that is building projects. Now, I am a big believer in building projects, because almost everything that you see, that you use now, just started as a side project by someone somewhere in a room. This is fascinating, and I myself got a lot of confidence when I just started building things. We just stress so much on learning things that we just forget that you need to apply to actually learn. You need to solve a problem. You need to do things to actually learn. Just fail and learn, right? So once you start building something, you fail, you get a lot of errors, and that's when you actually learn, and not when you are actually watching a tutorial. And in my case, I just can't learn watching a tutorial, because it just gets me to tutorial hell. So the errors, solving them and just googling things, that's how you learn. So go make anything simple with whatever you want to learn, and at the end you'll have a good small project, and also you have learned things the real way. When I wanted to learn Next.js, I built Hacker News. So I made this cool project, and also I learned Next.js, which is super cool. So projects are like a bridge to go from a beginner programmer to an intermediate to an expert, just on your own. Now, once you have built some projects, just don't keep them in a GitHub repository. Go deploy those. If you work on web things, deploy on sites like Heroku, Netlify, Vercel, so that people can get to use it. If you work on ML and just made a model, make a simple UI so the user can interact and see things getting predicted, right? So the user can interact with it, and it's not just a model sitting on some Jupyter notebook. And if you are building an app, just try to publish it on Play Store, right? So what this does is that you're just not building a project but also a product, right? Because users are interacting with it, and who knows what that might lead to. Like, I know people who have made a very simple project, very simple app, and just published it to Play Store randomly, and after some time they now have hundreds of thousands of downloads, because people love simple things who just solve a problem. So the point is, build projects, deploy them so that anyone can use it, and this shows that you have a experience of building something which is equivalent to just a work experience working somewhere, right? And you don't know what that might lead to, and internships, job offers just being in the bottom of that list. Now this leads me to my next point, that is applying to startups. Now I'm telling this from my experience, and it is also pretty well known that it is pretty hard to work in very well established companies while you are an undergrad, because one of their requirements being that you should not be an undergrad, right? So what to do? What if you just want to work and get experience and learn things and do things? What to do? Well, the solution is startups, because currently if you see, India is having a startup boom like Silicon Valley once had some years ago. So there is a lot of funding and investments being poured into great ideas, and people trying to build great things and turning these ideas into reality. And people desperately want to hire good people with great skills who will convert these ideas into reality, into a product, right? So just go and apply to these companies, because they don't care about the experience. They just want people who can build things, which is how it should be, and this is how great things are made. You just don't stick to a system. You just come out and you try doing something different. I am a student in my third year of college now, and I work at a startup, and I cannot say how much things I get to learn, because I am currently seeing how a real product is being made, right? I am contributing to that. I am seeing it in just iterations of it according to users, and just making the product better. And if I can just do these things, you can definitely, right? So go apply to startups. I will recommend just go to AngelList, or just watch this video. I have recommended a lot of great sites where you can just to apply to jobs, but I'll recommend AngelList because it has in-app chat features. You can just chat to founders who reach you out, and you can also actually go to WorkArt Startups and something like that in Y Combinator's page. I'll just give it in the description, all the links that I'm talking about. So go to these pages, websites, and just apply to great startups. If you have skills that they want, it is great. So this will definitely give you a lot of experience before you graduate, right? So go for it. Now the point with open source is that if you're contributing a good project, you're already a software engineer. You don't have to have an experience. This is a living proof experience. This is the reason I've seen many people just get reached out by recruiters from great companies just because of their great GitHub stats and been contributing to really great projects, just being selfless and contributing to great projects. That's the living proof of your experience and skills. The code does all the talking, you don't have to. And I can understand if you see these great repositories, they can be really intimidating. But the thing is that you don't have to just start contributing to React Native or VS Code just from the start. You can just go to a small project, or if you know Python, just go to a small Python project someone has, go to that, clone the repository, start breaking things, start doing things, make a change, find some go to the issues, find some beginner friendly issue, solve that, and then make a PR. And when that first PR gets merged, you get that confidence and you just start doing it bigger, and before you know, you are contributing to a really great project, right? So you don't have to just, when you say you have to contribute, you don't have to contribute to repositories with hundreds, thousands of stars, right? You have to just start really small and just go big after that. Now this brings me to my last point, that is share your work in public. Now what does that mean? Well, this means that just share whatever you have learned throughout the day, your wins, your losses, the things you learned, the problems you faced, whatever happened, just whatever you are trying to learn, just share this in places like Twitter. Twitter has a great tech community. In LinkedIn, don't just share the certificates that you get, because they don't matter anything. What matters is that what are you building now? What problems do you face now? Can you just help someone? You can just randomly ask someone to help you, that's what matters. That's what matters in tech, the community, and just trying to learn, because everyone is just trying to learn and they understand that they can relate to your problems. And if you do this, what happens is that you don't get burned out, because there's a lot to learn, and you just understand that you just realize that, hey, the tech is a journey, because you can never learn all the things, because at this point there is something new being made that you have to probably learn or build something with it, right? So you just have to understand this as a journey. Share your journey, document your journey online, meet great people throughout the journey. Trust me, one thing that also happens if you do this is that if you are sharing some really great stuff on the internet about your work you are doing, the recruiters sometimes reach out, like, because they know that, hey, this guy is actively involved in things, and he might be a great hire. And surprisingly, this also once happened to me. So yeah, this actually happens to, there are people who really share great stuff on the internet, on platforms like Twitter, and they just make really informational things about JavaScript and all this stuff. Like, that is super cool. Yeah, these were some points I wanted to share with you, because not just being a college student, there are also people who want to work in tech, but due to many reasons, like probably they can't afford to have a degree, or can't get into good college for many reasons. They might think that, hey, we can't work in tech, but we really want to. But the thing is that you can, because tech does not require any any paper or any just conventional thing. If you can build things, if you have the skills, like, you can get in the game. So these are some points that will just help you, put effort and just willing to learn, and you can just make an experience of your own, and just work at places, get that first experience, if you're a student, not student, anybody, anywhere, right? So I just wanted to share this stuff, and do let me know if you're watching till now. Do let me know in the comments, that means a lot. And let me know what are your thoughts on this video. Obviously, if you like this video and got some value out of it, do smash that subscribe button. That means a lot to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, have a great day and keep building.